People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators, the Marxists.
Here we are.
The anarchists, the looters.
Didn't hear any of that, Natalie, but...
Because I said, that's a deep subject when you said, well.
Oh, wow.
I know. I just made it up.
You know, that just makes me...
LOL.
In laughter.
Take that from the top.
But it is episode 147 of Inane Blather, the show that still to this day, people that I argue with on the internet refuse to read into on my Twitter profile. And they say, Inane Blather is right. And I say, yeah, it is. That's the name of the show. Yeah. Inane Blather is right. But no, it's
in the title.
Yeah, it's Inane Blather.
What?
It's that show where I just go on the air and I say,
I need to see a dick.
But and someone says no, and I say, come on. And they say no again, and I say, come on. But no, it's
that's why I'm here.
Because that's what you want to do with it.
But yeah.
Suck me from the back.
Anyway, it's time to Inani Ratalb.
And Inani Ratalb to you.
To gather together on this blessed day of blathering inanely and join with your brethren, with your sisterin and metherin in
fatherin.
No, none of those. I'm the only father in there.
And
so.
sibling
Yes, and they're all siblings.
Non-binary folks out there
considered as
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Ain't that right?
It always. I've heard that literally 148 times at least now, and I still don't know it.
Well, I've heard it many more times than that. That's for sure.
That's not a brag, Doug.
No,
that's not the brag you think it is. Yeah.
No, it is a lament, I think is what they would call it.
The kids are calling it nowadays.
So, I've been feeling real shitty and stupid and depressed and annoyed and mad. But I ended up having a really good couple days. So I'm having a great day, and I'm happy to see you two. Shout out to my girlfriend for
happy to see you too.
Making things better. Because, man, you know what?
Yeah. Shout out to Amanda.
Yeah.
Because she came in and she was like, I need to see a dick. And you were like, all right. Day, salvaged.
I was like, here you go. And she was like...
And she was like, what?
She was like,
LOL.
But, and I was like, okay, I'll laugh at that too. And it just really brightened my day. But
laughter's the best medicine.
Work stinks, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
That's like the toned down version of that song. Instead of work sucks, you know how we couldn't say sucks when we were kids? Like,
it's a bad word.
To say that. Yeah, it's a bad word.
Sucks.
Work stinks.
I'm like, sorry.
I know.
Sorry, Mom. I mean, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, you stupid bitch.
Do you ever think about how our parents would say, don't say sucks, and you're like, not really sure why, but now as adults, we're like, oh, that's why.
Because it sucks.
Yeah, but also
I'm like, sorry, Mom. It blows.
Oh yeah. Talk about cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know anything sexual yet, but I know blow is cocaine.
Sure do.
Yeah, that blows. It's really awesome.
Cocaine. That was my theory for a while, or that's what I say, like why they call it a blowjob. Because people suck dick for coke, because people are fiending. And I was like, I'm sure that's not where it comes from, but I was like, that's I'll just tell people that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's my theory, and I think
origin
it's funny.
Story.
Yeah.
Put a lot of thought into it. Blowjob.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
I want a party.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Expand on that.
Expand on that. We'll put a pin in that if you're not ready.
Today in my thesis.
Yeah.
I put that theory right up next to
socialism is when no car.
As 100%
succinct?
true.
Yeah. Yes.
So I started getting some independent news. I've been getting independent news. I'm wearing my independent news source shirt here. And upon someone's recommendation, I think we should go over some of this. I just saw a headline from today, Dateline Washington, study more Americans converting to Mormonism in hopes of getting a Hulu series.
Incredible.
Now, highlighting a notable shift in the nation's religious landscape, a study published by the Pew Research Center on Tuesday indicated that more Americans were converting to Mormonism in hopes of getting their own Hulu series.
I literally thought that was The Onion. I saw that, and I thought it was the... Oh, I was like, what the
we're
fuck?
Getting some independent news source here.
That's what I was like, what are you talking about?
They're so good.
But then I thought you were saying, like, where your shirt came from or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, you have, like, some supporting some small,
this is
like,
from
organization
Means.
Or whatever.
This is from Means TV. According to our nationwide survey, more than 2 million U.S. residents joined the Church of Latter-day Saints last year to increase their odds of scoring a meeting with a producer from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
That's so funny.
Said study co-author Mark Woodward, who noted that the most frequently reported reasons study participants gave for their conversion to the faith were a yearning for spiritual fulfillment and the opportunity to go off on their supposed best friend for calling them a bitch behind their back. Man, the opportunity to do that on television, priceless.
And have professional hair and makeup?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man, imagine being able to yell and throw a drink in someone's face. That's worth converting to
not get arrested
Satanism.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
not get charged with assault.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gotta do it for the views.
I really thought you were talking about some news that you got from the thing about your shirt, and I was really gonna start talking about like.
Okay, what do we got?
Yeah, ICE, because of ICE just picked up some people who. So here in Seattle, there's an organization, Real Change News, actually, and they hire
fake news.
You can look it up. They hire like homeless people. That's like what they do. They stand out and like sell newspapers and stuff. You know, they report on a lot of stuff, but they will hire. Like however, it's like a way for people like that who. Some people you see selling that, it's like you're not employable anywhere else. Really. But they can do stuff
to do,
and they're like really involved in all this. Like they're a good organization. Real Change News. We
not
taking
like them. Advantage of unhoused people.
No, they are a small thing trying to get by
indentured
really
servants.
Some good articles in there too, man. Some really well written stuff about leftist kind of stuff, and especially with the focus on homelessness. And a couple people just got picked up by ICE that were out there.
Really?
Some Real Change.
God damn.
Yeah. So they're being held at a detention facility in Tacoma. And so it's like, that's the thing that I think about with ICE. homeless people already, it's hard to, they don't have like a big paper trail, stuff like that. Maybe don't have like a great community of people that would maybe be looking for them if they went missing or whatever.
Yeah.
It feels like
It's easy for them to just disappear.
Yeah, I
people.
could really, if they just really want to be doing some of that stuff, man, they really could.
And it's not a
looks
lot
like
of guardrails. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
even for people
exactly.
that are looking for them, what are they going to do? That's the thing. It's like,
I mean, yeah, true.
when you,
It's already an issue with like ICE actually just deporting people and people like loved ones and stuff not being able to find them.
yeah, they can deport people and put people in detention centers that, by the virtue of being plastered all over the news, everyone knows, and they still won't take them back for a long time. And they'll send them down to wherever that is, El Salvador, right? And it takes the Supreme Court telling them, "Hey, how about you bring back that legal visa holder
resident."
Yeah, that legal resident." And they still drag their feet on it. And so then they pick these people up. Here's something for today from the Independent. Welcome to the nation's, quote, super deportation center, inspired by Amazon and FedEx, but, quote, with human beings. Since before the Trump administration, the ICE field office in New Orleans was taking inspiration from corporate giants. Let's see, because so Georgetown University professor Badar Khan-Suri was, I wonder why that university professor was picked up, was briefly detained in the state before being put on a plane bound for an immigration detention center more than 1,000 miles away. Suri, who was targeted by ICE for his Palestinian activism and his family ties to Gaza, arrived at the only ICE facility that doubles as an airport without his attorneys knowing where he was. Like, that's pure insanity. Like, officers told him that he had entered the nation's super deportation center, according to his attorneys, who obviously caught up to him.
It's like a super
finally.
Walmart. You can get tires there.
Yeah. They're like, well, there's produce, but there's also tires,
a garden center,
and we sell TVs.
And a detention center.
We don't sell guns here anymore. Yeah, that's what's missing.
So all this stuff about deportation, Kelsey was saying just something like that the White House had posted something, like about the flights. Like, the White House had posted something like being like really like thumbs up and about the flights that are going for like deportations and stuff. And it's like, damn, this is like straight up. It's like, yeah, they just didn't have commercial air travel like that back in 1930, whatever. These are like trains, leaving Germany with people forcibly put on them and all this kind of stuff. Just talking about it. It was really, it's like, that's what this starts to look like. They didn't immediately go to, they just weren't taking it to a train into like a gas chamber. It didn't start like that.
No.
You had to get the gas chambers built first. But anyways, we've been talking a lot about, and actually one of my friends texted me today about having a conversation with her parents who are really like buying into it. Like they are MAGA. So I wonder why we're recording the video when we're just like on our phone. It's like on your phones.
I'm looking up something for you about that exact thing. She's
doing
not on her
stress
phone.
relief.
But it just like I just looked up and it just looked so funny. It's like, oh man, I'm just like really talking to myself right now.
No, you're not.
Like,
No, I'm
I was gonna say
I'm listening intently. Too intently, probably.
One of my friend's parents, like we had a conversation before about it. Like she'd been saying, I wonder if it's better to just not know or whatever. And she texted me today. She's like, it would have been better. Like her stepdad especially is like straight up. She asked if you could vote all over again, knowing what you know now, knowing everything, knowing all this stuff and how this goes down and what's happening. Would you still vote for Donald Trump? And he said, yes, absolutely. And it's like,
why?
and then like Kelsey, we've been talking about, she some pretty conservative family, and she was putting it really, really well about, she's like, I hear them saying it, and it's like not them saying it. She's like, they open their mouth and Fox
And
News
it's someone else's words coming out.
They are brainwashed. Like,
Yeah.
people are so,
It's propaganda.
like so just really, like, they don't have they're not thinking at all. They're just so in their own. It's like, you really have to just not be getting any sort of like anything to critically think about. You're just like really fed this information, and really just like the way Kelsey was saying it, she's like, yeah, just like open your mouth, and then talking points that she saw on Fox News while she's there visiting, just like come out of their mouth, like as just like fact. No curiosity, no questioning, no whatever. It's just been really...
And then it's also like, but why that? Why is that what you're tuning into? Because that's the easy one. That's the one that's not challenging your previously held beliefs, that at the point where it wasn't where you were just a mouthpiece, that's when it was being formed. The previous couple decades, there's a back and forth. You could have chosen a path at some point, but it's almost too late now. Like, you literally need a re-education at this point. But I was
going to ask Danae, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, you can ask me.
I was just going to ask if you have conversations with people in your family. Like, I know that our family, maybe, I don't know, some stepbrother, whatever. I am not going to engage with people. I haven't in a long time. But and being home, I know that it would be like, you say some pro-Trump shit, I'm absolutely not going to hold back at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like lines are pretty well drawn for me. I'm like, hell no. If you're still on that other side, it's okay, whatever, you voted for him, whatever. You got to be off the train by now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Does it come up in your... you're talking. I'm not sure how your family feels about any of
Do they
that,
talk
but I know they're like
politics?
a little on the conservative side. Yeah.
My understanding, I will not have the conversation. I am not capable of not losing my shit.
Yeah. Your
over
limits.
it, and because it is so stupid to me, and I tend to point out how stupid it is, and then that becomes very hurtful to my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a boundary that I have. But I was gonna say
then
that
you just seem like an elitist lib, and no one
100%.
gets anywhere. Yeah.
And yeah, no one gets anywhere. I think for me, like, my biggest thing is I've just been like dropping like facts about how Washington is impacted by things as they come up. Mm-hmm. And like also like pointing out like how our congressperson is voting, and like why that's a problem for us, and like why that's a problem for our town and stuff like that. Like, I try to talk about that in like those like specific ways that like are actually like those specific impacts. What I was gonna say was I'd love to see if there's been some kind of study done on the types of like language that's being used in Fox News and this right-wing news media, whatever. Like, as far as like what kind of reading level are we talking about when we're looking at just the basic news cycle? Because I think that that's also maybe like why it's so easy for a lot of folks to just parrot this shit, because I'm like, y'all are not reading, like, not really. And so I feel like maybe there's a disconnect between news sources that are actually somewhat centric, if you will, because obviously there's not really a lot that are left.
Like,
but
more unbiased, at
all
least,
of
or
the mainstream
less
things
biased.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah, like
If
all
you
of
do
the mainstream right
24-hour
now.
ones, it's like
Fox News is, though, let's just make a point here. Fox News is particularly egregious. There have been studies done about how misinformed their viewers are about some, like, not political, just like facts. like
Yeah.
that are
Well, they're
like,
not even
sort of
allowed
simple,
to.
but
It's not even
They're gonna
allowed. They're not even allowed to
misinform
call
you.
themselves news anymore. They
Yeah.
have to be classified as entertainment, which like goes over the heads of a lot of folks. So
But
like
that's the
I guess my
problem.
thoughts is just like, yeah, exactly. It's like there's no accountability for the amount of information that they're passing on, but I think that they're doing it in a very specific way that like makes it easy to parrot. And
they're good at propaganda.
Because and they're good at propaganda because they know he was correct. They have taken the approach of Andrew Breitbart, who said politics is downstream from culture, and that's why culture war comes first. That's how you get people. That's how you get people ready to just be the mouthpiece for the other thing. Politics is downstream from culture. It's always. I mean, Ben Shapiro just mentioned it again the other day when he was doing his half-assed, sorry-ass, stupid-ass review of Superman. Him complaining that it was propaganda, you know, but like
but is politics downstream from culture?
when you approach it in that way, it is. When you form your propaganda and form your politics around culture, it makes it a lot easier to bend it to your will. For sure.
Why would anyone respect anyone who said that and has a news organization? Who cares what some stupid, fat, ugly fuck, anti-Semitic piece of shit has to say about any of that? Especially, it's like, you run a news organization and you say politics is downstream from culture? You're a fucking idiot. And you can't be trusted to report the fucking news. That's for goddamn sure. What is that? Why would he have any... I don't even get why
Not
that's
Steve
a respectable
Bannon,
thing
Andrew
to say.
Breitbart. But
Breitbart Media.
Yeah. But
I don't
He's
even fully understand what the point is, though. Like, what do you mean? You're saying that, like, politics is affected by the culture? Like, by
absolutely. 100%. It's not
Okay.
culture is downstream from politics. Politics is not being... politics is directly affected after that. So it's all about the malleability of... That's why...
So
that's
like
why they
that's why
focus on
art
culture war
comes,
stuff.
the protest songs come before the legislation. Or I mean the culture's,
Yeah.
countercultural. It's like, I just don't even believe it's like, and it's not a river, and that's not a good, it's just like not a good, it's not
Yeah,
smart.
it's not... There's
Andrew
no stream.
Breitbart,
Yeah, exactly.
You're fucking stupid. I just wanted to say that's a stupid thing to say, and anyone like Ben Shapiro who like, well, obviously those are like their
Would
guiding
culture
sort of,
not
those
change
kind of guys.
before politics does?
It's all the same. They're all the same. It's politics, government, democracy, culture. Those are all so inextricably linked that it's like, what is affecting what? What is it? This is such a chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
This is all,
Chicken and the egg.
simultaneous. These are happening in real time.
Yes, and arguably, I would say that, like, our culture has drastically shifted because of choices made by politicians in the mid-century of the 1900s around having a Christian nationalist movement take over the nation to
Capitalist.
take it back to the forefathers, founding blah blah blah, capitalism bullshit. Like, this has been in the works for decades, and we have
Capitalism
eaten
is
it
bad.
with a huge fucking spoon. Eating it up. It is the American dream.
Slop it
I
up.
wish I had Homer doing that.
Give me some of that American dream.
Capitalist pig. Yeah, because you know what?
Democracy
Something we've been
simply
talking.
doesn't work.
No, it fucking does. People just do it right. We just fucking suck here.
Yeah, we
like,
just
you know,
do
Because
it. We
we
just
don't do
corrupted the shit
democracy.
out of it.
because you know what? I just really went on a rant about the other day of how much we missed the fucking point of World War II. Like, how much we took away from that is that we're some big Billy badass with our big dick swinging coming over here and saving France. Motherfucker, they were out there on the motherfucking front lines getting invaded. Where the fuck were you? Over safe in North America. They were like getting bombed. Paris and all this kind of stuff. And you know what Germany and France do now? They govern together through the EU. They work together. There are two powerhouses that work. All these motherfuckers work together. England, London's getting like bombed, blah, 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 blah. This world, you know what happened out of World War II? The lesson? We resoundly rejected the idea that fascism is okay. We said no. Absolutely fucking not. We said no in Italy. We said no to Germany. You know, we really said no about global empires of Japan or whatever we were doing over there, you know?
Yeah.
The entire world,
No, with a little
especially
extra
like the
stamp
northern
on it.
hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere too, but especially everybody at war. Russia, really, this
don't
is
know.
a gigantic fight. And you know what Americans think? Best generation in America because we won the war for the world. We took away from that. We didn't take away that fascism. Well, we did for maybe a little bit, sort of, but the arrogance of the United States coming out of World War II and thinking that we're just some hot shit while we stayed over there. What, Pearl Harbor got bombed? That's a military base.
Yeah.
That's not Paris.
That's
not
what
New York
finally
City
brought us
having
into it.
bombs dropped on it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, and then we come in here and we
Well,
just think we're
also-
just the saviors. And what we
Yeah.
should have taken away was collaboration beats down dictators like that. And you know what? We don't want fascism. That's what they were
Would
standing
love-
up against. We don't want monarchies. That's why France is so much better than us. That's why they're going to recognize Palestine as a state, you know, like we would never even possibly consider. They're cooler than us. Not that they don't have a right wing,
Yeah.
obviously. It doesn't have to be this bad in America. It can be better, you know, like France. Because they really... I've been thinking about
they've
France
already
a lot.
said they recognize
Thinking about their
Palestine.
Bohemian Revolution, you know, thinking about French philosophers, thinking about black and white movies and smoking cigarettes and saying life, death, you know,
What
it's
even is
just this
it?
thing, art and all of
Their-
this and
their work-
threesomes,
Work-life
and,
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
everything.
they just really took it. And after World War II,
Setting
you know
cars
what these
on
other fucking
fire
countries
if you
did?
take away their lunch break. Yeah.
What'd
Because
they
you know what
do?
they did? Everybody after World War II, besides the United States, started developing like better, stronger social systems. That's when healthcare was invested into as like a social service. That's what other countries were doing when we were out here being like, okay, segregation is obviously still sticking around for a long time. Let's see. Union busting like a motherfucker all over. I mean, you know, like
I mean, I would argue that
We
the
came back
U.S. getting involved wasn't even about actually like not being into fascism. I think it was more along the lines of, one, we were insulted in Pearl Harbor, and two, war is big fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
And look at our economy boom after it,
oh
Yeah.
and that's it.
We finally
did. We
had
did have
to, and we had
So we can
allies.
romanticize how we like kicked the Nazis' asses,
And people
we
do.
won.
mhm.
And people do, but like the reality is like we did it because it was self-serving our interests.
Yeah, because they
We didn't even let
immediately
Jewish
went to
refugees
doing it
hating the
come
US
we
to
weren't
the
doing it
United
to
States.
save anyone. We weren't doing it to like save lives or like help the Jews. Like no, not coming to the aid of any of the countries. We simply joined in an alliance because it benefited us economically and it made us look good.
Well, we turned away Jewish refugees. So,
Anne Frank? Anyone ever heard of her?
no.
Who's Anne Frank?
Who's that?
Yeah.
No, I'm in an American Republican
She a Nazi?
education.
Yeah.
But
No,
So-
it just seems like such a huge difference. And I think that there were obviously people who would see, I'm certainly, the Jewish Americans were probably pretty devastated by World War II, you know, like seeing what's happening. I mean, that was like a thing that people like, especially like in one of the books I read that was
Mhm.
about comic books, you know, and like set
Mhm.
whatever, these guys go to war
Yeah, what's his
in
name
World War II.
wrote
That was
that,
like very personal. There's like a lot of immigrants to the United States that were
Take
from
it off, Humby.
Europe. I know. We can see
Sorry.
you changing, Humby. Shake it. Do
Blurred
a
out
helicopter with your weenie.
Yeah.
little.
Go from looking down to looking right up. No.
Yeah. Attention. No, I feel like
Anyways.
that was like we're just like not very good friends with the rest of the world. We think we're so much cooler And we could be really cool. We have a lot of cool elements to us. We just really are really privileged and really think we're such hot shit. It makes us insufferable and not cool and stupid, honestly. It really puts us behind the social evolution and moral consciousness of the rest of, or a lot of the world.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I totally agree with us being super privileged either, because that also in some ways feels like American propaganda. There was a fucking article AP News put out talking about the opening of the LA Metro that the Los Angeles built because of the, what was it, whatever that giant sports event. Is it World Cup that's coming to LA next year?
The
in 2 years or
Olympics
something?
is coming to LA.
Is it the Olympics?
Right?
Okay, Olympics. Anyway, the comment section was hilarious because you have so many people being like, wow, it's so embarrassing how far behind the U.S. is. People are celebrating putting a train through a major metropolitan city. And, there are cities in countries all over the world that have extensive transportation like that. And we're celebrating such a small feat.
Oh, yeah.
It really it's just getting roasted in the comments. Wow,
public-private partnerships can accomplish.
It's jeez.
What a beautiful thing.
The thing about America is that we have a lot of extreme privilege. We have there's a lot of wealth. There's a lot of infrastructure. There's electricity everywhere. A lot of paved roads, things like that. We have a lot of public infrastructure.
You don't really get
but there's also incredibly huge wealth inequality, where it's it really is staggering, the difference between the top 1%, and the bottom fucking 50% or whatever. And we do have some, we're talking about this with one of Umberto's.
They're criminals and rapists.
I think it's,
yeah.
I think it's 80% now. That's my understanding.
With the bottom 80% and the top 1% or whatever. But one of Umberto's friends work together. He's from Ecuador, and talking about, well, for one thing, he came to Seattle thinking it was going to be some progressive place, and then comes here and it's there's no state income tax. There's no, it's not progressive. It's liberal NIMBY bullshit. But he said going back to Ecuador, people, take those talking points about trans people are down there in Ecuador talking about, oh, trans people this, trans people that. And he's like, guys, we don't have clean drinking water.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So there is some privilege in the United States with some civil liberties, for gay people in particular. Again, I want to bring that back to really give credit to the people in America that really, have pushed that movement in particular, and the UK too, but, or whatever, some other places, but really, that's
yeah, when you compare it like that, it's not like they're worried about trans bathrooms in Sudan,
but people will talk about it because it's in the fucking American, it gets out out into the zeitgeist and stuff. But it was just so funny. He's like, guys, we don't have clean drinking water. What are you talking about?
What is the purpose of this conversation?
How is that gonna do? He's like, don't get distracted, you know.
Yeah, let's get some clean water for sure.
But also super conservative, coming from a Latin American country. He's from Ecuador and the revolutions and stuff, and he's like, America's had some of our leaders killed, and we know that. That's another privilege that we have, is, or whatever you want to call that, another power, which is privilege.
I mean, living under the,
I don't know,
empires, there's
there's protections,
some perks.
Did you guys hear about this Russiagate thing? That's crazy, right?
Thing? Is there a new thing?
No.
No, but
I just was joking.
We're the ones with the CIA that kills their leaders, but we're also the ones with the CIA that kills our revolutionaries. So there we go. But and having
double-edged sword,
being this imperial power. Just going back to the other thing that I was looking up way before when we were talking about people being influenced by this moronic stuff and becoming propaganda pieces, and you had mentioned the stupid like almost memeified stuff that the White House puts out now. It's like disgusting how it's just shifted into
truly,
full propaganda
satire.
mode. What I was trying to find, because I hadn't bookmarked it, but people had just uncovered. They're like, this is like the guy. There's like just this dude that runs like the White House Twitter account that posts like these just gross like AI memes and like really
like the one where
crass
Trump
things
is like
about deportations
wearing a
or
crown.
Yep, or Trump as Superman, stuff like that. And it's just like this 29-year-old neck-bearded Redditor guy. It's like, what
So awkward.
Where are we living? But it's like, so well, and we're living in the imperial core, and on top of that, it's like, so now if you're not, I mean, in this, that's what fascism does, right? Is it starts excluding, and if you're not in the dwindling group, you're not in the dwindling in group, right? Then you become like who we were talking about, Professor Suri. Suri was shackled at the ankles and handcuffed and marched into a 70,000 square foot staging facility in Alexandria, Louisiana, which has emerged as the nexus point for President Donald Trump's mass deportation machine. He's far from alone. Since Trump returned to the White House, more than 20,000 people en route to other detention centers have passed through the Louisiana facility, which ICE officials have long aspired to operate like corporate giants FedEx and Amazon. So it's like, it's going hand in hand, like what you were saying. This is just the modern version of how the trains start, and stuff like that. I mean, at the least, we were already seeing packing people and sending them to that facility in El Salvador, right, is almost a death sentence already, right? It's like half the people there just fucking die.
Not a life sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, or you just don't get out. Like, and let's see. ICE's acting director Todd Lyons has bluntly compared the movement of people to packages. Quote, "We need to get better at treating this like a business, where this mass deportation operation is something like you would see in, say, like Amazon trying to get your Prime delivery within 24 hours, he told law enforcement conference in telling a conference in Phoenix. So, trying to figure out how to do that with human beings, he said. Like, how, and it just...
like he said it. Like he just said, how can I make a human being a box? How can I make it like they're just so good at being dumb and bad at being a person. They're such bad people because they're just bad at being because they fall for propaganda because they're good at justifying like this kind of thing, and that's not a good
loss of humanity.
thing.
Removing yourself from humanity. Like
that's not a good skill to have.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just like,
out of the
just
pool.
watch the zone of interest. It's like that's how these people saw the Jews. It's like just as things, as like nuisances, as things that had to be dealt with. They didn't see them as people. It's like this is like step one. You fucking moron. Is dehumanizing these people. Whether you think that immigration laws should change or not is completely besides the point. Like, you are literally wanting to treat the movement of people like packages in an Amazon facility. Like, what are you saying? Like, you're dehumanizing. Like, there's just no way around it. That's just what the Nazis did. Straight up.
That's like, why does history have to repeat itself?
Yeah.
When there are people at every stage of history being like, but we already did this.
But
and
you should learn from
that.
history.
Yeah. I guess it's like, why
is it
so hard for some people are just kind of dumb, I guess, in a way that's like deeply, like a deep sort of stupidity. like that makes them susceptible to propaganda or something. I don't know, just like an inability to make some connections that are really essential to be able to like learn
The
bigger than just like your own little life or whatever,
Yeah, no.
just like
There's no
like what do you
getting
get out
there.
of a book, or I mean,
No.
like you can, just
Well, like today was saying, it's like, do these people read or anything like that? No,
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
no. That's way out there.
But you know
Talking
what?
about expanding
Some of
their
them-
mind.
I think some of them do, but that's what they're just like not very, they just like don't connect what seems pretty obvious to other people. They have to have it spelled out to them a little bit, and they get it spelled out to them by worthless losers on right-wing media, that like they're they're just like media literacy or whatever. Some people don't have good reading comprehension. And is that dumb? I don't know. Reading, is that important?
Everyone is stupid except me.
Me every day.
But even if that's the case, those other people need to be helped along properly. You don't need
Yeah, you can't have bad
purposeful
actors like Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump being their
misinformation.
leader.
Yes.
That's mean to them. You're taking advantage of the dumb kids. That's so awful. And making their lives worse. The people that vote for Trump are like Danae's talking to her family. It's like, yeah, like the area you live in is going to be devastated by these cuts.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not us because we live on a golf course, but people who live up the road or whatever
The
on Moon
economy's
Road,
kinda
and people who need,
connected.
Well, I mean, like
70% of the population in
It doesn't-
Eastern Washington.
that's the thing is actually it affects everyone, because if we lose like enough Medicaid, it's possible that our hospital could just
The
close.
Othello Hospital could close.
The Othello Hospital could close. That means you drive 45 minutes at minimum to get to the nearest hospital in a life or death situation.
Yeah. Or
Like,
you have to be
people will die.
helicoptered
Or
and
take
you
the
just won't
helicopter.
afford it.
Maybe,
Mhm.
yeah, and then they are like literally have to declare bankruptcy
Mm-hmm.
because how are you going to afford a helicopter? Like,
And this is
who's
all
going to foot
in,
that bill?
in some
Yeah,
people's
because, like-
interests is the problem. That's like you guys okay. You guys like Donald Trump, like the guy who let's just take the absolute stupidity of the idea that he's the anti-elites guy out of the equation and say, so what's in it for us and what's in it for the elites that you're talking about? Because everything that's happening only benefits those so-called elites, if they can and will and are so-called, and they do not benefit us. Even something like closing a hospital like that, that's because it benefits other people. All of these cuts, everything. You look at, I just scrolled scrolled through a few statistics and stuff in this article talking about the Alexandria ICE detention facility. That's the center of their hub system that we're talking about. And the guy who's running it says, this is back in 2015. Miller sought a, quote, more effective and efficient way of moving the growing number of foreign detainees, according to a 2015 newsletter from GEO Group, the private prison contractor that operates the Alexandria facility. Like, this doesn't help any of us. Like, what? You got a bunch of money invested in GEO Group? No, you don't. And you would feel sick if that's how you were making your retirement money. Like, because you're an actual person, right?
I just think that, for one thing, I want to say private prisons, learning about their existence, I think is actually, if I could pinpoint something where something like really was like switched in my brain, I remember in my 20s, sitting in the park in Tri-Cities, whatever, and just remember this moment. I had been learning about it, and it was just like really like a light bulb, like, it like doesn't compute that this is possible to have to like serve prison time going through the justice system and someone is profiting
That
off.
Doug
It just
guy?
was like
Wow,
such
what
a
a piece of shit.
Sorry, I just accidentally touched the soundboard.
that's an aside. But I think,
No,
you know, with
it's-
people like this,
it's
like
true.
Trump supporters, yeah, private prisons, whoa, just like whoa. But Trump supporters, what I was just thinking was, you know, it's hard to, okay, so this is something that's come up. It's like, you know, and Kelsey had said, no, it was like a good conversation. And I'm just like, I don't believe these people when they're talking to me. Like, if my family is going to say something to me, or parts of my family is going to say something to me about politics or whatever, current events, they're going to probably know that I have a different opinion. And that's why they're saying something, you know, because they maybe want something out of it or whatever. And it's like, oh, is this a good faith conversation here? I don't really think it is. With some people like that, it's like Trump supporters, because I can say, like, really, I feel like I believe this. I don't think you would support the big, beautiful bill if it was written exactly 100% exactly the same if Joe Biden had put it out there.
No.
And that's what I'll say. It's like, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that it's just like that you believe that you like this bill. I don't believe that. I just don't.
Not for a second.
And I'm sorry. It's like, if that's on me, that's on me. And I just got to get over that. But so then you're going to have to explain what really spoke to you about giving
Yeah.
support
When did you
behind
read
this
it?
specific huge
Yeah.
piece of legislation, you know, like, so, because I just don't believe you're coming in good faith or anything like that. You just, yeah, you know what? You're fucking dumber than me. That's what it is. No, but it's just, it really is like, this is not a good faith conversation because, yeah, we do a little trolling. You know, we do a little trolling.
These people are sick.
That's what that's going to be my response if it ever comes up. It's just like, would you have liked this bill if Joe Biden and AOC had put it out?
Yeah, if
Would you have
Nancy
given it the
Pelosi
same-
wrote this. Yeah.
I mean, like, would you? And then it would be like, okay, well,
Yeah,
that's
I
really
would.
interesting to me. What do you like about it?
Yeah.
Because you would have to have some sort of opinion to have some sort of opinion now, because I'm saying the exact same fucking bill with a different name on it, because I don't believe you
Yeah.
that you like it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe
Or that you know fucking shit
anything
about
it. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, what you would like, you like the Medicaid cuts or something, or you like
To
the
your region?
increased ICE funding, because the only reason you ever this person that you encounter often, it's like that you ever bring up the fact that Joe Biden or Obama or any of those people funded ICE or increased deportations is purely as a gotcha in some sort of like conversation. It's not because you actually have like any value staked on it. Like, it's like, okay, so is that what you want or not? Like, did you like that? Were you supporting Joe Biden when that happened? I don't think you were. Like, you have an FJB sticker on your Ram 1500. But
you know what? These are people that literally... This has all been done before. God damn it.
Dingus,
Time is a
listen up.
flat circle. It really is like, yeah, I love the Affordable Care Act. Couldn't live without it. But that Obamacare, I just really can't stand it. Like, literally almost verbatim on a news story, some stupid fucking white lady saying some shit like that truly they don't make the connections maybe that their vote does stuff, you know, like that it matters. It's like, it's not all just fucking talking points or whatever. Like, these are like, this is the connection here, that what you're doing is something that connects to these larger things that you're fucking talking about.
see, and that's here's a huge problem with the Democratic Party, is like not taking these easy layups. I was just thinking the other day, it's like, no matter, like, we can have a full conversation about, like, man, Epstein files, for example. It's like, so
Never
what?
heard of
we
him.
already know this stuff. It's like, but like, it was a layup. You didn't do anything with it. Like, you have this wedge. You have to know there's this huge segment of the voting population that's this waffling, built on sand thing that's just kind of this my life sucks, and it's all about like sticking it to the elites. And a bunch of them are dumb enough to have believed Donald Trump the first time, right? At least. And then get sucked
Or
into this
hopeful
whole
enough,
cult,
you
right?
know, they're like,
Or hopeful, or whatever,
Okay.
you know, whatever. And
Angry.
It's like, and you didn't take this thing and be like, oh my God, look at this. It's obvious he's one of them. He's fucking you over and he's one of the elites. It's also obvious. They didn't hammer on this because they're feckless pieces of shit that are bad at politics. And this is like another, like, just here in the immigration thing, talking about private prisons. No normal people, like, just come out and say that that's good. It's psychos like Ben Shapiro and stuff like that. They're like libertarian weirdos, right? And it's like, you're talking about sticking
weird.
it to like these big business elites and stuff. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, tapped former GEO Group executive David Venturella to support the deportation agenda, and now he's serving a top role in ICE. Meanwhile, Daniel Bible, who worked at ICE for 15 years, left the agency to join GEO Group as its executive vice president. Like, this is all just, it's like, look at this.
Incestual.
This is just
what
like,
it is.
hey, this is just like Obama with Goldman Sachs, all right? This is like the same stuff. Like, where they just bailed people out and then took Goldman Sachs people in and took Goldman Sachs people out of the cabinet to run other huge banks, like, and gave themselves bonuses. This is that on immigration, because none of it is actually for your benefit. None of this is so that people get deported and your wages go up. This is so that people like Daniel Bible can get a job making probably $10 million a year running for-profit prison companies. And it's like, it's so, like, you can condense it down into something that simple and, like, tell people, like, this is what's happening. Like, and they're upfront about it.
It's not a conspiracy. It's just like you could read it. You could like read about it.
They
it's like just there.
will tell you. They're okay with it because they know that you just won't, like, you won't come across it because the Democrats won't say anything about it.
Understand.
Because, like I said,
Right.
it's just like Goldman Sachs or something. It's the same bullshit. You know, it's the same why they won't put lobbyists back and forth and stuff like that. It's just the same, incestuous business to cabinet pipeline bullshit. And it's like, that's why these things get enacted. They don't care how many people die in a fucking fire along the way. You know, whether it's that guy that you knew from work, that doesn't matter. The for-profit prison guy is getting a paycheck, and the other for-profit prison guy got a job in the White House. Like, that's what matters to them.
Best and brightest right there.
You
That's
don't
meritocracy at work.
Yeah. He probably got that job because his dad sold his second fucking yacht and started a venture capital firm for him, you know? And they started investing in private prisons.
I think I felt, I felt kind of just like, Vanita and I were talking like a lack of whimsy or just like not fun. And it's like, well, why would you be all this kind of stuff?
That's but you know what? I think it's like a little bit of,
no, but it's like a little bit. I think I feel better now because I'm thinking about how the Democrats really have kind of made me feel a little like jaded, which is like something. It's like got to work through this because I don't want it to become hardened by it, but how people do because it's like all this Epstein stuff. I just felt from the beginning, it's like
they're not going to do anything.
Who is going to possibly? Yeah, because they won't stand up.
Sucks.
Because the Democrats won't do it because it is a slam dunk, and it's like, fuck these pedophiles, get them out, appoint people, get some shit done, but they just won't. Nope. They're so
just like Israel.
This whole, Joe Biden deciding to run
Joe
back.
Biden.
Ever heard of him back in 2020? Is what I. That's another point that I really remember being like, what? Why? There's just...
Everything Joe Biden touches turns to shit. Everything.
including the
Yeah.
2024 election.
Starting from when he could have just, you know, you know what? So, anyways,
You know
I feel
what?
better now that
The
I'm realizing
N-word.
all my problems
Sorry, I
are the
didn't have you.
because of the Democrats. Yeah, I mean,
Because
but really,
Just controlled opposition.
but I have, yeah, exactly, because it's all. What's the term? We're not like what's an oligarchy, but like the ruling class or like a techno sort of whatever. Techno feudalism, or we don't live in a
No.
democracy exactly. Sort of.
We live in a
no, I know, but
kleptocracy at this point.
But it's like, but it's just like how there's an actual word for this capitalist sort of construct or whatever, right? About how the government is controlled by corporations, corporatocracy or whatever it is. It's like where our vote is only ever so meaningful or whatever because they don't really answer to the voters. They're like, you know, our democracy has been so fucked around by those guys
Yes.
so they can
Has
kind of
been
win.
so
But we still do
made
have we still have some
undemocratic.
power because democracy is important. And I have found, you know, our primaries tomorrow, make sure you vote by tomorrow at 8 p.m. Have your ballot in the box. Already voted.
get a
Voted for Katie
ballot.
Wilson for mayor.
I don't have anything.
You can do it-
I don't have anything in
you
my.
can-
it's
You
everything's
can go
Kennewick,
in
Pasco,
person.
Richland.
You can. It's the primaries, but definitely get that. You can go in person, or you can. Up to a certain point, you can get your ballot online and stuff, so
Yeah,
you can get
Seattle
it reprinted
folks.
or whatever. But
Do it.
no, that's like, it's a Washington thing. But like, anyways, it's primary season. Things are on your ballots, levies, things like that. Fund your parks. Voted yes on that. Voted yes on democracy vouchers here in Seattle.
Man, you got a
for
bunch of
publicly
stuff
funded
you can vote on.
campaigns.
I didn't even get a ballot.
It's well, it's like city
didn't get
council
a
elections.
ballot
You know,
either. I know, yeah.
it's odd year elections.
Yeah.
And people tend to not think about it, and that's why voter turnout is super, super low
Mm-hmm.
on these, and especially the primaries of an odd year election. Come on, but that's when
That's
stuff like
when you do it.
It's so, but that's what's so unfair about. It's like this great democracy and all this kind of stuff because I can vote on this levy to fund the parks and stuff can get passed. But then if you just get like an opposition bloc to fund some stupid ass no campaigns or just do stuff in years that like stuff doesn't. That's how Seattle has such a conservative city council because they have these odd year elections where nobody turns out except the rich people who know that they need to vote. You know, like.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
So, anyways,
go ahead.
I was going to say, but I have found, you know, talking about Katie Wilson running for mayor, she's running up against, you know, you can kind of watch this play out. It's like a lot like what's happening in New York City, is a progressive candidate against, well, this is the incumbent candidate, Bruce Harrell, who is like,
Yeah.
he lives in a
Stinks.
mansion in Seward Park. Amazon loves him, all these guys, and he pretends to be a progressive, whatever. He's a big business guy. Katie Wilson started a transit riders union here to help people get reduced rates, like on the light rail, and help like the University of Washington students petition for free transit and all this stuff. And she's a renter. She's awesome, and it's definitely going to be between her and Bruce Harrell in the primaries. And Bruce Harrell's attacks against her are that she's too progressive, like that she likes Shama
crazy
Sawant, and she's
socialist.
divisive and she's angry. She's so freaking calm and like nerdy, like she's such a wonk and everything. She's like, it's like kind of her. If there's like a criticism, it's like she's not like showy enough, you know.
She's
like
not
really
passionate
smart.
enough. Yeah.
I mean,
She should
she's
be
passionate
angrier.
for sure, but she's just like
angry enough,
really
I don't know.
smart and like. And he says
She's
like,
taking
she's
it
so
correctly
angry,
as a
she's so
woman.
like this,
Yeah.
and she's so awesome. So that's something to be excited about, and why voting matters. So definitely make sure all your shit is updated. Washington State makes it especially easy to get your ballot. Primaries are tomorrow by 8 p.m. Make sure you voted, and this will come out before that. But just so you guys know, that's how it works. Or this will come out after that, probably. But that's how it works in Washington State. You get sent your ballot, and if you don't, you can always get a new one. You can sometimes even vote online if you're out of the like. You can do your stuff and
I didn't
fax
even
it
know that.
and whatever. Like, there's all kinds of ways you can do it. You
Yeah,
can do it if you don't
Washington's
have
the
a permanent
best with
address.
voting.
It's awesome. So in November, really important because it's your local politics that can be the bulwark against some of these federal cuts. Like they have to figure it out, and they really will try to, because it is their neighbors and, you know, their communities that will be affected. So make sure you have the right people there, you know, fighting for your communities.
And I was going to say, because you're talking about those rich people show up, and I was like, and I tell you what, if you're in any sort of like trade association, any sort of business group and stuff, they really market get out the vote campaigns. They do that constantly, like, hey, make sure you vote yes on this, make sure you vote for this person, make sure, we're not political, by the way, but this affects our industry, so make sure you vote yes on this and no on this and no on this, and they'll hammer it constantly. I even had our company just sent out a thing to all of our fucking customers about a potential tax and stuff without even telling us.
What?
And so I got people asking me about it and stuff. So I'm not going to talk about this shit with customers. What the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, they
and they count on the people who need these things the most are least likely to get out to vote for one reason or another. And Washington's really easy, but other places they make it really, really hard. And that's because it does matter, because it is, you know, we could really be there's a lot of corporate pressure, and we're like really like holding it back now with some of these checks and balances we have in place. I feel like democracy is obviously so much easier to lose than it is to build. Like it's, you know, it really takes it's a
at this point.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you know, you can get taken over. It just
well, speaking of capitalism ruining everything, had a couple of headlines here. Guys with pickup outside funeral parlor will bury grandma for cheaper. There's an Onion headline.
I saw that one. I follow the Onion.
Researchers determine coelacanth. I guess it's a millions of years old fish faked its own extinction to escape massive gambling debt. And I was thinking,
you didn't want to be sleeping with the fishes,
or it had to, you know, it had to take a helicopter ride from a closed hospital area, you know, just because it had a heart palpitation, and just had to fake its own extinction to get out of medical debt. That's if it happened in the Americas, right? But yeah, you know, if you
on that note,
if you don't vote,
you're a fucking bitch.
You're a bitch.
You're a loser.
And you might as well wear diapers because you're a baby.
Yeah.
I was gonna say earlier, if you support private prisons,
you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
You're a loser.
And
oh
you might
man,
as well wear diapers.
how
'cause you're a
could you?
baby.
I mean, just like no.
yeah. We all know that one guy who thinks it's a good thing because it's capitalism, and
I'm sure he's a genius.
But anyway,
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
okay. Shout out
Okay, shout out.
to all the conversations you have to have with MAGA adjacent people. Oh, I had stuff to say about that. I'm gonna write it down. Maybe bring it up next week.
Yeah.
Um,
Stay strong, homies. Shout out to R.M.
How
Brown,
often does
our
that
Lord
happen?
and Savior. Huh?
How often does it happen that we bring up things that you wrote down for next time?
It'll happen someday.
often.
One
You
day.
know?
Okay. I never know. I can't see your notes. So
Oh,
sorry.
man.
Anyway, shout
It's
out.
anxiety-inducing.
To Danae.
Shout out to Danae. Shout out to Amanda.
Danae.
Shout out to R.M. Brown.
Amanda.
Shout out to Humby.
everybody. Everybody.
Emily, if she's
Kelsey.
listening.
Cowboy.
Everybody.
Shout
Cowboy.
out to everyone.
And our ardent
Krista, I think,
fans
sometimes listens. So
and listeners. Shout out to
shout out
Krista.
Krista.
Cool.
If you listen,
It's very cringe when you do that.
but anyway,
Bitches leave.
That's me.
okay. Love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.